are going to enter into our new module, that is absence management. So this module is very important module, team, but it won't take that many hours. Core HR is the basic module or the fundamental module and mandatory module in every implementation team. Whatever the project you are working in the real time, without core HR, there won't be any implementation team. Core HR is the mandatory module in every implementation because client's organization, work structures, and first of all, employee is being hired in this module. That is why core HR is important in every implementation team. And the size of the module is also big. We spoke about many concepts in core HR. It took about close to 26 or 27 hours team. But absence module, it won't take that many hours to complete. Probably in 7 to 8 hours or maximum 9 hours to 10 hours, we are going to conclude this module. It is small module, but very important and very interesting module also to learn. This module is also important in real time because in every organization, leaves are mandatory, correct? So this module is going to talk about leave management in your client's organization team. Absence management, the module name is. What we are going to see in this module, nothing but we can also call it as leave management. Means what, team? In every organization across the globe, you take any company that is operating in the market, they will provide different types of leaves to their employees. The naming conventions might be different. In my company, let's say I'm working, right? In my company, I might have the leaves like annual leave, casual leave, sick leave, maternity leave, paternity leave, like that. Probably in the company you are working, the naming conventions might be different. In your company, in the place of annual leave, you have privilege leave or you have exigency leave. But the concept of leaves are common across every companies. So when you going for an implementation also, team, in your client's organization, they will provide different types of leaves to their employees. And that leave management we are going to handle or configure in this absence module. So we will collect the requirement from the client. What are all the different types of leaves that they are going to provide to their employees? What are their rules, regulations, policies, or criteria that yearly how many days you are giving? Many rules will be there for each of the leave team. All that information we will gather as part of our absence management requirement gathering. Once that details are there as part of our requirement gathering team, we can start configuring the absence module in the system. So this module is about leave management in the system. We are going to configure different types of leaves which our client is providing to their employees, and how enrolling the leaves to the employee, and how employees will apply the leaves in the system when they want to take the leave. That all we are going to see in this module, team. So that's why I told it's a very interesting module and very easy module also to understand, team. But the scope of getting the questions in the interview will be very high. Many scenario based questions you might see in absence. See, in core HR, you won't get much scenario based questions in the interview, team. More or less they will be straightforward. If the interviewer also ask also some scenario based questions, core HR is something which is easily understandable. What is the requirement that interviewer putting before you, you can understand. But in absence and payroll, you might expect many scenario based questions, team. They will give you the requirement and they will ask you how you will provide the solution to the client if client comes to you with this requirement. So if you have a knowledge, an in-depth knowledge on each of the configurations in the absence module, you can answer those questions. Try to concentrate. Don't miss the sessions in this module, team. We are going to take you to the sessions in a very detailed way. It's something not on an overview basis. I'm not going to tell you. Each and every field I'm going to explain in this module. Each and every field is an interview question. So when you're preparing the class notes every day, try to write every field that I'm explaining. What is that field is about? Write it. That is a question in the interview in absence module, team. Okay. Now next, what are the configurational things that we have in this module? We have something like derived factors, eligibility profile, time periods, then lookups, descriptive flex field, value sets, and couple of things team. So first I will talk about these three tasks in the system. I will start our absence module with these three tasks, and then I will put forward some requirements team. First I will delete all these things. Let us start it from freshly team. Let me remove all these things. This is for our other batches. I'm taking up these all examples. Let me clear everything. Okay, so I cleared everything. Let's start it freshly team. So first I will start with these three setups that we are having in the system in absence module. What are these? See, already we know, right? The concept of lookups, descriptive flex field, and value sets. What are these team? Here we discussed in core HR module also, we discussed about the concept of lookups. We discussed about the concept of descriptive flex field. And within the DFF concept, what is a value set that we have seen? The list of values we are providing to our descriptive flex field. Right, team? So here, team, I told you, in order to configure the lookups in the system, where I have to go, team, I have the individual tasks available with respective to the screen, right? On the person screen, I want to configure the lookups. I should go to manage person lookup. If I have to configure on the assignment screen, I should go to manage assignment lookup, manage grade lookups, manage job lookup, manage position lookup. Like that, we have for each of the screens, individual lookup tasks are available. Similarly, these are the configurational tasks we have in the absence module team. These all are the part of absence module. In any of these screens related to the absence module, if you want to configure the lookup values for the Oracle delivered fields, then you should go with a task called manage global absences lookup. Any lookup that you want to configure on the screens of absence management module, then we have a dedicated task to configure the lookups called manage global absences lookup. So let me go to setup and maintenance, and let me go to that respective task team. So I don't want to configure again because we know all these concepts, the same concepts team, because these concepts you will see in every module, not only in core HR, but for every module, their independent setup tasks will be their team. Now I will go to setup and maintenance, workforce deployment. Okay. And then I'm searching with manage global absence, and I will give you a search. See, manage global absences lookups, manage global absences descriptive flex field, and manage global absences value sets. See, team, the three setups which are highlighted, they are coming up here, team. So if I go to manage global absences lookup here, click on that respective task. So these all are the fields. These all are the lookup fields that are available on the absence management screens. So these things, team, ANC blocked leave, ANC absence disease code, ANC absence ill special code, ANC absence plan other reasons, ANC adjustment. These fields you will see whenever you configuring these particular configurations in the system team. So in these screens, you are going to find these lookup fields available team with a list of values. So anything that you want to customize, let's say I'm going to ANC adjustment reason, then I can click on that particular lookup, and then we know, right, we have to check whether it is a user defined or a system defined or an extensible lookup. So it's a user defined lookup. So I can go to lookup code, and currently for this adjustment reasons, these are available: administrative, balance initiation, processing error, like that. Anything that I want to add, I can add it in the system team. If I want to end date or disable the existing one, I can do as per my business requirement in the system. So these are the available lookups in the absence management screens. You are going to see this adjustment reason when we configuring the absence plan in the system. On that screen, you will be able to see that field with list of these values displaying over there. So what is a lookup? We know, right? So in absence module, if you want to configure the lookups related to the absence screens, come to this respective task, find out the available lookups and configure here team. Same goes with descriptive flex field. I told you, descriptive flex fields, you can create them in other way also. Let's say I'm going to manage absence plan for creating the absence plan in the system. On that screen, I'm expecting some custom fields to be defined. What I told team, you can be on the screen and you can come to the right side settings and action, highlight the flex field, and the DFF section will be available. You can go to the DFF configuration screen I told you. Other way is what team, for descriptive flex fields also, we have individual tasks available. Manage person descriptive flex field, manage assignment descriptive flex field, or manage grades descriptive flex field. We have separate tasks, right? Depending upon the business objects or the screens. Here also, any custom flex fields, if you want to create on the absence management screens, in any of these setups, if you want to define the custom flex fields, then the independent task available to configure is manage global absences descriptive flex field. Click on that. All the DFF sections you can see here, team. When you come to manage person descriptive flex field, how you have per person DFF, per person legislative DFF, per person address DFF, how we have different sections, team. In absence module, you can see these all are the available DFF sections. Let's say I'm going to ANC absence plans DFF. I can go to this particular DFF section, edit, and then if any new segments I want to define, I can define here, team. So this ANC absence plan DFF will come on this absence plan screen. When I go to this task, highlight the screen, then that section will be available. I can configure in different way. Either I can come to the individual task, pick up that respective DFF section, create the segment. They will visible in the front end. Or else I can go to that independent tasks, be on that screen, highlight the flex field, then these DFF sections will highlight over there, and I can click on settings button. Either way around I can do, team. My intention is to make sure what are the independent tasks available to configure the lookups or the descriptive flex fields for absence module related screens in the system. Same goes with value set also, team. But when you're creating the DFF only, then and there itself you can create the value set, right? That you can follow. So these three are common in every module. But only thing is you have to know what are the independent tasks available for that module. Next, if you go to payroll, there also you will see, team, payroll lookups, then payroll descriptive flex fields. They're common everywhere. Okay. And a part of these general topics, the core concepts in the absence module are these things, team. Derived factors, eligibility profile, time period, and then absence reasons, plan, certification, types, category, shifts, patterns, these all things, team. Among all the configurations that we have in the absence module, whatever I highlighted, these two are the major important configurations in the system. They are the main heart of the absence implementation, team. So whatever the leaves that our client is given as part of the requirement, like these are the leaves I'm going to provide to my client, to my employees. All that leaves, we have to create leave plans. Each leave, we have to create the plan. And then you have to create the type. But before introducing to you what is a plan, what is a type, first I will put forward here some real-time requirements, team, that which I personally received as part of my absence implementation experience. Let me give you some real-time requirements here. Now let's suppose we gone for an implementation. Core HR is okay. We know that. Coming to the absence module, as part of the requirement gathering team, client given you the requirement like this, like all the leaves I'm going to list out here. Our company is what? Tata Group. Okay. So let's say we are going to implement the project for Tata, and Tata Group, as part of the requirement, given us the information that they are going to provide the leaves like annual leave for their employees, annual leave, then casual leave, okay, then sick leave, and then maternity leave, and then paternity leave, okay, and then LOP, loss of pay. We can also call it as unpaid leave, okay. And then what else? Anything that you want to provide, like a privilege leave, okay, privilege leave, etc. Team. Let's assume in your project, your client given you these 7 types of leaves team. They are telling that, Kumar, we are providing these many leaves to our employees every year. Okay. Whenever you are taking the requirement from the client, you have to be very clear on 2 important aspects in the requirement gathering. What is that team? Okay, list of leaves that client given you. These are the different types of leaves which they are going to provide to their employees. For each leave, we have to take another 2 sets of information team. What is that team? One is the leave related rules, regulations, okay, or the policy of that leave, or the policies of the leave, okay. One is rules, regulations, or the policy of that respective leave. And the second set of information you have to be very clear is in eligibility criteria. Eligibility criteria. So for every leave, whenever you're taking the requirement from the client in real time, these 2 sets of information you should be very carefully noted. One is rules, regulations, or the policy of the leave, and the other one is team eligibility criteria of the leave. I will tell you what is this rules, regulations, or policy of the leave. Annual leave is there. Okay, your client is telling, for all my employees, I will give every year annual leave. You are giving every year or every month or every 6 months? What? Okay, every year you are providing. Every year, how many days you are providing? What is the basis of that balance calculation? What is the rules, or what is the policy of that respectively? That information you have to be noted very carefully. I will give one requirement team. Annual leave is there, and my client given me the requirement that 24 days per year, 24 days per year, I'm going to give give annual leaves to my employees, but 25 days per year on an accrual basis of 2 days per month. See the requirement carefully, team. What is the requirement of annual leave? Every year, 24 days I'm going to provide to my employee. Every year an employee is eligible of 24 days of annual leave on an monthly accrual basis of 2 days per month. On a monthly accrual basis of 2 days per month. What is meant by accrual, team? Let's suppose my employee joined the organization in the month of January. Let's say today on 18th January, my employee joined the organization team. Let's say my employee, Mr. Syed, is there, who joined my organization, that is Tata Automobiles Private Limited, on January 18th. So today only you will, obviously, whenever employee hired in the organization, all the leaves also will be enrolled to him. That is the starting day of the employee. So the leaves also will be enrolled. So do you give entire 24 days upfront today only you will tag to the employee the yearly entire 24 days. You will be adding on the day one only. Employee can start taking the leaves from tomorrow onwards if you give like that. That is not the case. My client is telling what I'm going to give 24 days per year, but on a monthly 2 days of accrual basis. Means what, team? Every month, two days of accrual will happen. Two days of balances will be added to the employee. Once he complete January month, 2 days will deposit to his annual leave balance. Then he completed February. On 28th February, 2 plus 2, 4 days. Then he completed March. Then March month, 2 days. Then April plus 2. Like that, every month at the rate of 2 days per month, the leave balance to be given to the employee. That is my requirement. Annual leave, every month, two days balance will be added. So that yearly it will come to 12 into 2, 24 days. That is a requirement. So that we will call it as accrual. Accrual means on a specific time period, if it is continuously calculating, that we will call it as accrual, team. Here, monthly accrual, my client expecting every month the balance calculation to be updated to the employee. Month by month, two, like that, it is going to add. That is okay. This is the plan main requirement, team. 24 days per year at the rate of 2 days per month, the balance should be accumulated to the employee. Next, once we complete the year, team, 2023 we are completing, we entered December month. December 31st completed, and we entered next year, January 1st, 2024. In this current year, out of 24 days, my employee used only 9 days of balance scheme. Only 9 days he applied annually. 15 days of balance is there with him in the current year. Now we are entering 2024. We, in the sense, employee team. What should happen to the current year balance? It should be carried forward to next year, or it should be lapsed. What? Even those rules I have to take. See, when I talk about rules and regulation, not only the main policy of that leave, all the rules, regulations, and policy of the leave we have to collect it in. So monthly entitlement, yearly entitlement, year end, what should happen, balance to be carried forward or not carry forward. If at all employee resign his job, whether the balance to be paid him in cash, encashment to be done, or if any we have negative balance enablement also. If that employee used overdue, will that to be recovered? Several things we should collect in. So once we start configuring the leaves in the system, I will talk about more requirements. I will deep dive into more requirements and I will explain. But I will write down here high level requirements in every project that which we will encounter, team. So annual leave requirement is this one. Casual leave, my client is telling, Kumar, 10 days per year I will give. Okay, 10 days per year. Here no accrual business. Upfront I will give. 18th January employee joined, casual leave enrolled to the employee. I will give 10 days per year. In this year, if we use that leave, okay. If he is not using the leave in this year, then they will lapse. Next year again, fresh 10 days of leave will come. So that is the requirement for casual leave. Annual leave of one requirement. Casual leaves requirement is 10 days per year. That's all. Coming to the sick leave. So sick leave, my client is telling, okay, Kumar, in my organization, sick leave is an exceptional case. Usually employees will not take, right? Until unless they fall ill. Maximum 30 days of sick leave I will provide to my employees, but on a condition. What? In a year, for the first 10 days, if he is applying, out of 30, he is applying 10 days, then no salary deduction. 100% of salary I will pay to the employee. Let's suppose in the year, employee already applied 10 days and he is entering second slab. Second 10 days, 10 to 20, he is applying. Then 75% of salary for that 10 days I'm going to pay. 25% I'm going to deduct. In the same year, he already applied 20 days. Still he is applying sick leave. Last 30 days also team. Last 10 days also team. Then I will pay only 50% of salary for that 10 days. Rest of the 50% I will deduct from the employee's salary. See, this is one type of requirement for my sick leave. 30 days of sick leave per year, maximum eligibility to the employees. But again, within that, there is a salary deduction happening. First 10 days, no deduction, full payment, 100% salary. Second 10 days in the year, 75% of salary. Last 10 days in the year, 50% of the salary. So this is one type of requirement. This is one type of requirement. And this is one type of requirement. Next, coming to maternity leave. What is the requirement for maternity leave? Maternity leave, whenever a female employee is conceived, okay, who are married, then they are entitled as per the government, maternity leave will be their team. So that differs from country to country. So when you working in the real-time projects also, whatever the client you are working for, that country where your client is from, accordingly that maternity leave regulations will be there. So usually I'm giving 180 days. In India, we have, I think, 180 days. Okay, 6 months of paid leave. 180 days of paid leave. So this is the requirement for maternity leave. Paternity leave for the men population who are married and who became parent, that persons can take paternity leave of 7 days. 7 days of paid leave, let's suppose. That is paternity leave an employee can take. Then we have something called loss of pay or unpaid leave. What is that, team? In every organization, this type of leave will be there mandatory. Means what, team? Employee exhausted with these leave balance, team. Annual leave, casual leave, he exhausted. But still he want to take the leave. Okay. So there will be something called unpaid leave available, team. Means what? If employee apply this leave, he can apply and he can take leave, but the salary will not pay to him for that day. They are not paid leaves. They are unpaid leaves. Salary deduction will take place for this type of leaves. Takes place for this type of leaves, and no limit for this. If your manager agreeing to apply 5 days of LOP, okay, fine. Employee can apply 5 days. For 5 days, salary will be deducted straight away. If manager is agreeing to apply 10 days, usually sabbatical leaves will be their team in every organization. Long term, if they want to apply the leave, this unpaid leave is the option usually companies will give. Means no salary will be paid during that time. He can apply the leave and he can take off. He won't get paid for that days. So that is the requirement for unpaid leave. And next I have privilege leave, team. What is that privilege, team? My client is telling a requirement for this privilege leave. This is usually only for the people who completed 15 years of service in the organization. Means they are highly renowned, experienced people in the organization who are been for a long time. Only for that people who are working greater than 15 years in the organization, for them yearly 5 days of PL, privilege leave, we want to provide to those employees. Not everyone, only people who completed in the organization more than 15 years. For them, 5 days of privilege leave per year we are going to provide. So see, team, every leave is having their own set of requirements, their own rules, regulations, and policy. So when you are working in the absence module, as part of your requirement gathering, for each and every leave that which client given you the requirements, you should be very clear about the rules, regulations, or policy of that respective leave, team. And then if these sets of if this set of information is clear to you, next information that should be aware of will be eligibility criteria of this respective leave. Okay, annual leave, understood the requirement. Yearly 24 days on a monthly accrual basis of 2 days per month, I'm going to provide annual leave. But for which set of people in the organization this annual leave should be eligible for? My client is telling, Kumar, I have in India only, I have Tata Automobiles, I have TCS India, I have Tata Motors. But this annual leave is eligible only to the people of Tata Automobiles Private Limited. Okay, and that too not for everyone. In Tata Automobiles Private Limited, I have 5,000 employees working. Okay, so currently in this system, in Tata Automobiles, 5,000 employees are there, but not for all the 5,000 employees I'm going to provide this particular leave of annual leave. For how many people? Within the Tata Automobiles also, people who are working in Tata Auto South BU, and in that also people who are working in Tata HR and Tata sales department, and that too people who are working in Hyderabad or Chennai locations. See team, in my organization, okay, in Tata Automobiles Private Limited, 5,000 employees are working, but this annual leave is not eligible for all the 5,000 employees of this legal entity or legal employer team. In this legal employer, in this business unit, in this HR, or it should not be and, it should be or. Okay, either employee should be from HR or sales department, and also the employee from Hyderabad or Chennai locations. Only for that people this leave is eligible. So the eligibility criteria in the leave or the absence management is very, very important concept team. Every leave, when you configuring them in the system with the requirement, we have to define the eligibility criteria also. When you hiring an employee, when I go to my client group, new person, hire an employee team. When you hire the employee, automatically the leaves or the leave plans will auto enroll team. But on what basis the plans will enroll, the eligibility criteria that we are maintaining at the leave plan level. So now I'm hiring an employee. I'm hiring an employee in Tata Automobiles in South BU, in HR department in Hyderabad location. He is qualifying to this eligibility criteria of this plan. Then this annual leave plan will enroll to him automatically. So eligibility criteria will play a very vital role in the application team. So every leave, we have to configure the leave plan team. Each leave, we have to configure the plan. What is plan? I will tell you in next 5 minutes. When we configuring them in the system, we have to capture the eligibility details of the plan, for which set of people that plan is eligible for. Next, casual leave is there. My client is telling, Kumar, casual leave is eligible for all the employees of Tata Automobiles. There is no restriction here. For all the employees of Tata Automobiles, this casual leave should be eligible. Then coming to sick leave. Sick leave also for the employees of Tata Automobiles, only people who are working in Tata Auto North BU. Let's assume as of now, only for these people the sick leave is eligible for, and this is the eligibility criteria for this leave. Then maternity leave is there. Who are eligible team? All women population, all women, and that too who are married. All women, their gender is equal to female, and then marital status is equal to married. Only for them the maternity leave is eligible. Coming to paternity leave, all male population and their marital status to be married. Only for those people paternity leave is eligible team. Loss of pay, again for all employees. I don't have any criteria. For all employees in this legal employer, this leave should be eligible for. Coming to privilege leave, people whose length of service is greater than 15 years only for them this leave is eligible. See team, every leave is having their own policy, their own entitlement, and then their own eligibility criteria. So eligibility criteria in our case, as an example in our training purpose, I have given this type of requirement. But in real time, eligibility might comes on different basis, on department basis, on job basis, or position basis, or managerial hierarchy basis, location basis, worker category basis, person type, many things. Example, here I am using the legal employer, business unit, department, or business location, like that. Okay, but you have to understand the requirement of the leave from these two perspectives, team. One is the rules, regulations, or policy of the leave, and the other side is the eligibility criteria for this respective leave. If these two sets of requirements are crystal clear to you, then you are good to start the configuration of the absence module. You can ask me a question, Kumar, I will collect in the real time also in this Excel like this? No. For your understanding purpose, I have manually written here, team. But we have something called requirement gathering templates, RD50 document we will call. Even for our core HR also, team, what is the enterprise, legal entities, business units, department, we will collect from that requirement gathering template, team. That I'm going to show you when we have the session on workshop. Probably once we complete the absence module, I'm planning out a session on the implementation methodology. Then I will introduce to you how the requirement gathering template looks like, or how the solution designing documents or the user manuals, test scripts, each and every document, how they looks, I will show to you at that point of time. You can understand it. But before we implementing the absence module, for each leave, if these two sets of information are clear to us, we are good to proceed with our configuration, team. Now, okay, I understood my client requirement for all the leaves, team. Okay, let me come back here. Now, what we have to do, team? What is the configuration that we have to start in the absence module, team? A part of these general configurations, what is the transactions that we have to start first, team? Each leave, first we have to define the absence plans in the system. Annual leave plan, casual leave plan, sick leave plan, maternity leave plan, paternity, unpaid leave plan, privilege leave. Like that, each leave, first we have to define the plans in the system. What is an absence plan, team? An absence plan is nothing but it is a set of rule book for that particular leave, where it will maintain the rules, regulations, and policy of that respective leave, and also the eligibility criteria of that respective leave. These two sets of information we are going to capture when we creating the leave plan in the system. When I'm creating an annual leave plan, I'm going to capture these details related to eligibility and the rules of that respective annual leave at the plan level, team. So the absence plan in the absence module is nothing but it is a set of rule book which is maintaining the rules, regulations, and the policy of that leave, and also the eligibility criteria of that respective leave. These two sets of information or the configuration we will do at the plan level, team. Once we configure the plan, then we have to define our types in the system. Absence types next will be. The absence type is nothing but the actual leave type in the system. So in the front end, team, whatever the employee applies in the system from his portal, from the absence portal, and where employee applies the leave, they will apply the absence type. Leave types or absence types are one and the same. They are the actual leave types in the system. So first we have to configure the plans. Each leave we have to define the plan. At the plan level, these things we will configure. And then for that plan, we will define the type. For example, annual leave you take, team. First, you will configure annual leave plan in the system, and then you will define the annual leave type, and this plan you are going to assign to your type. So this type will get enriched with all the rules, regulations, policies that you are maintaining for this particular leave at the plan level team. So first we have to create each leave plan in the system, and then create each leave type and assign that respective plan to the type team. How to do that one? Once we start configuring the system, you will understand. Okay. But before creating the plan, I was telling you team, whenever you are going to create the absence plan in the system for all the leaves, we will be configuring these rules and also the eligibility criteria, correct? So now we have to talk about this particular section team. Okay, how this eligibility criteria will be maintained? For annual leave, my client is telling, Kumar, this is the eligibility criteria of my annual leave. People who are working in Tata Automobiles Private Limited legal employer, and that too people who are working in Auto South BU, and either from HR or sales department, and Hyderabad or Chennai location people. Only for these people, this annual leave is eligible. How can I maintain that criteria when I'm configuring the plan team? I'm going to start creating the annual leave plan now. But before creating the plan, for each of the leaves, you have to be ready with their eligibility criteria team. So in order to maintain the eligibility criteria, Oracle given us a concept in place called eligibility profiles in the system. Oracle given us a concept called eligibility profile. So we have to define eligibility profiles for each of our leaves. 7 leaves are there. 7 eligibility profiles we have to define. For each of the leave, according to their requirement, the eligibility profile. By using these parameters or conditions, we have to create the eligibility profile. When you creating the plan in the system, now I'm creating annual leave plan. System will ask you to assign the eligibility profile to the plan. So here, when I'm configuring the plan, I have to be ready with my eligibility profile with all these conditions that I have to put in, and I have to be ready with my eligibility profile. And that profile I'm going to assign to my plan. So when hiring happening in the system, the eligibility profile with the conditions you have tagged at the plan level, it will evaluate in the system team. If any employee hiring in these organizations and he is getting qualified to that leave plan, automatically the plan enrollment with effective to the employee hire date, the enrollment will happen in the system team. So what is the funda that everyone should know here is, when we creating the plans, in fact, before we creating the plans in the system, we have to be ready with the eligibility profiles for all of these plans. In the eligibility profile level, we are going to configure this entire eligibility criteria of each of the. Once we are ready with eligibility profiles, then we can start our absence plan configuration in the system. So first and the foremost task in absence implementation will be creating the eligibility profiles for each of the leaves. If I have to create the eligibility profile as an implementation consultant, I should be known with my eligibility criteria for each of the leave. Now I'm clear what is the eligibility criteria for each of the leave. Let us start with the configurations team. So where you can find absence related setups in the system, you can go to the application, you can come to setup and maintenance, our FSM task, okay, and then go to force deployment, and you can search here team. Let's say manage eligibility profile. You can come and you can search. See, eligibility profiles resulting here. Or let's say I want to search with absence. absence. So see all the tasks related to absence I can see. Global absence lookup, value set, DFFs, absence certification, absence reasons, plan, type, category. See, reasons, plan, certification, type, category, all these things I can see here. So either I can come to setup and maintenance, I can search with respective task name and I can pick up team. Or else, once you come to the home screen by logging into the system, under my client groups functional area team, you have a sub-functional area called absences. So as a HR admin or an implementation consultant, if you have access to my client groups team, you can come to absences of functional area and you will land upon absence administration screen. Directly, you can even find the configurational tasks related to the absence module here team. See, absence reasons, absence certifications, absence plans, types, the same things. Reason, plan, certification, type, category. Then if I scroll down, derived factors, eligibility profiles, repeating time periods. See, these three things: derived factors, eligibility profile, time periods. So either you can come to my client group absences, then pick up the respective task to define, or else you can rely upon our FSM task. Go to setup and maintenance, keep your respective offering and search with your respective task name. Either way around, it is fine team. You can configure. Now, once you come to this absence administration screen, you have a task available called eligibility profile. So come to eligibility and here you have the task name called eligibility profile. Derived factor is part and parcel of eligibility profile only team. The above task I will tell you once I start this concept of eligibility. So click on eligibility profile. Okay, now you landed upon eligibility profiles screen. Okay, so once you come here team, if you want to define the eligibility profile for each of your leaves in the system, click on create button here. The option will come participant profile and then you will land upon the eligibility profile screen. See, create participant eligibility profile. That is eligibility profile definition. Here you have to give your name team. So I'm giving something like annual leave, right? AL eligibility profile. For my understanding purpose, I'm giving like this. In your real time, whatever the client suggested name, you can give accordingly team. So now I'm creating the eligibility profile for annual leave. So I'm giving AL eligibility profile. If you want to give us Tata annual leave eligibility, whatever the name you want, you can provide team. So I'm giving AL eligibility profile. Description, I can give the same. It's not mandatory. And important thing that one should know will be whenever you creating the eligibility profile in the system, you have to keep the profile usage appropriately too. Here we have a couple of options coming: benefits, checklist, compensation, communication, global, goal management, performance. What are all these things, team? See, this concept of eligibility profile is a shared concept across different modules in the system. This concept of eligibility profile you will see in absence module in order to evaluate the eligibility for the absence plan. In payroll module, you will see the concept of eligibility profile. In goals, performance, talent, compensation, benefits. Okay, in different modules, we are going to use the concept of eligibility profile. In goal management team, we have the goal plan concept. So when you're creating a goal plan, you will assign the eligibility profile for people this goal plan to be enrolled. How the eligibility will be checked in the system? Through this eligibility profiles only. So this concept is a shared concept across different modules team. So whenever you creating the eligibility profile, choose the profile usage appropriately. If you create eligibility profile for your annual leave by keeping the usage as benefits, you create and click on save and close, it's useless. This profile will not show to you in absence module. When you configuring your annual leave plan, when you come to eligibility profile tab in the plan level, you can't see that. When you're trying to search for AL eligibility profile, it won't show because the usage of the eligibility profile you set up as benefits. If you go to benefits module, while you creating the benefits plan, if you search, this will show there. So for each of them, we have different module options team. If you want to create an eligibility profile for your leave and you want to use them in absence module at the plan level, kindly keep the profile usage as global. Global means it is common across every module. For absences, you won't have separate option to choose team. Create the profile with the usage of global. Then only in the absence module, this profile will show when you creating your plan in the system. Okay. This is one important thing one should know when we creating the eligibility profile stream. And we have next assignment to use. This is also important thing when you're creating the eligibility profile. And here the eligibility criteria definition. Oracle given different parameters. These all are personal level parameters. See gender, person type, home location, termination reason, marital status, religion. These all are personal level parameters. Team. When we hiring the employee, these all are personal level information. If I go to employment, all the employee work relationship or employment level parameters will come. Assignment status, hourly or salaried, assignment category, grade, job, position, payroll, salary, department, legal entity. When we hiring an employee, in the third tab, employment information tab at the assignment level, all these information related to the employees you will capture. So when you creating the eligibility profile in the system, Oracle given us different parameters to choose, different filters to choose. On what basis you are going to define? Now I want annual leave to be eligible for people of this legal entity and people in this business unit, in this department, in this location. So I require to configure the eligibility profile on all these four parameters. One is legal entity, then business unit, department, and location. So here I should come to employment, then I should go to this department, legal entity, then location, and then what team, and then what team, business unit. I will use these four parameters and I will create the eligibility profile for my annual leave. So I will conclude the session here for today team. I will continue this topic of eligibility profile and creation of it in tomorrow's session. I am not saving it as of now. I will cancel it. So tomorrow I will freshly start creating the eligibility profile for each of the leaves in the system. And then after this concept, we will jump into the plan configurations for each of the leave team. So any questions as such in the intro of absence module in today's session? You can unmute yourself and you can ask. I hope the session is clear to everyone team.
Thank you, Kumar.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So let's conclude the topic here for today team. We'll continue with the further topics in the tomorrow session. Okay. Thank you everyone. Good night team. Thank you.